Hello everyone, I'm TheJoaquiGamer of KGC Esports, and joining me today is Kurtesy of Oasis Gaming with regards to the VCT Philippines Stage 3 Week 2 playoffs. Hello Kurtesy.
Hi, Waki.
Also, is it okay if I just call you Kurt?
Yeah,
okay,
no problem.
So before we head on to the games of Stage 2 of the Week 2 playoffs, the last time Oasis Gaming appeared in the VCT playoffs was Stage 1. And surprisingly, you weren't even part of Oasis Gaming during this time. You were part of the First Order, which also appeared in Stage 1 playoffs. Actually, if I remember, you guys, TFO and Oasis Gaming, also faced each other during Stage 1. Now, it's Stage 1, then you guys took a break, Stage 2, then Stage 3. And then right off the bat, you guys are facing Zeal Esports. Was there any pressure, having that long kind of hiatus between stages?
There was no pressure in fighting against Seals, but I can say that there was a little bit of pressure on our performance in our playoffs run. And I guess it's because we allotted a lot of time to prepare and we didn't join other local tournaments for VCT, especially with the new roster that's like 2 months old because we started from scratch, we had to build our team chemistry, synergy, and comms first before testing setups, strats, anti-strats, theories, etc. And probably that's also the reason why we didn't join any local tournaments. And we're a new roster, so we're not ready and we're not prepared, and it sucks to lose in a tournament. So our coach thought joining these tournaments will only lose our team morale, and it's best to focus on building our craft before going into battle, and everyone agreed.
So if I recall, that's Coach Mark.
Yeah.
That's different from Marky, the player. Okay, because I think some people who research about the Oasis Gaming team get that confused. That Coach Mark and Marky aren't the same person. And so all this time, you guys were just doing scrims, or how were you guys actually doing your mastering your craft as a team?
Aside from scrims, we do like in a custom server, we practice our comms, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, because you're not joining these tournaments during the off season, you don't technically get to face the top teams in like a competitive manner. So during these scrims, was there, not to leak anything, but did you like scrim against the people you faced in the playoffs?
No, we don't scrim PH teams. Yeah, it's not our thing.
Is it because you're kind of like that concern of they'll know what you've got prepared for when the playoffs happen, or is it just like a coach decision or team decision to do so?
It's a bit of both. Yeah. Yeah, really.
So for the Zeals match, you did say anti-stratting and all that. Did you guys prepare any anti-strats for Zeals?
We studied them. We did our research, and it was a tough match, but everyone was really composed, and we stuck to our plan. And yeah.
And anti-stratting on preparing things on paper and on customs is very different when you face the team that you're preparing for. Did Zeals play to what you expected, or were you caught off guard in any of the moments?
There are rounds that we got caught off guard, and an example would be our Icebox map. We got into overtime. We had a bit of a tough or hard time in figuring out how to counter them. Their Icebox is really good, but yeah, with our attack process, we had their mental reset, and we got the dub.
Is Zeals, because Zeals are known for their aggression, they're really aggressive pushes and defensive, even on defense they'll push. You guys weren't caught off guard when because even though you're prepared for it, you don't know which round they'll actually play aggressive. So we're on all those rounds. Did you guys say, okay, let's just wait for them to see if they'll play aggressive, or you guys were kind of like ready to push with them being aggressive?
There were rounds like that. We tried to wait for their push, and there were rounds we tried to exec, but we got caught off guard by their push. So sometimes it's a missed call. That happens. It's really fine.
And then I think one of the most memorable things in the Icebox game, especially to the casters as well, was the half buys that you guys would do with the stingers and at times the bulldogs. Can you explain like the strategy around these buys?
Actually, our scrim partner did that buy against us, and this was a day before the playoffs, and it really caught us off guard because they can really pull it off. And we did some research about it, and we found a video from Lothar explaining the mechanics on how to utilize the guns effectively, and we tried it in DM, and it took skill and a bit of time in getting comfortable with the guns. And I mean, it looks stupid, but it works.
And I think, there's still kind of still a certain amount of spray that you have to control. It's not like 100% it's going to. But do you think this is a mechanic the Riot devs, the Valorant devs, you think they'll nerf this, or do you think they'll keep this?
It's hard to say because when we tried it in DM, we were getting called as hackers, It's like one ADS and a click and they die instantly. But it's really tough to say because it takes skill.
Personally, for you, do you think it's kind of overpowered in like pro play, or you think it has its fair share amount of cons?
Yeah, I think teams should know how to use it well. I guess when to use it, or how to use it with the utilities that your agent composition has. Yeah.
Are you because some say you have to use the hold function for the ADS, and some say it works with toggle. Are you using hold or are you using toggle?
I'm using hold. Yeah,
hold.
It's easier.
Okay. I'm a toggle person myself because it kind of feels, at least for me personally, it kind of feels awkward to hold down the right click for so long while aiming. But I think if that's what feels meta, or if that's how it's best to use the stingers and bulldogs, I think even in the ranked games, people should start picking it up. And then moving on to the second game, Icebox, very tight game. You did say overtime 16-14, and then it was in favor for you guys. But the Breeze game, the team did seem to struggle. Is Breeze one of the weaker maps in your map pool, or did kind of like Zeal Esports just play way differently from how you guys prepared?
Breeze is actually our map pick, and we were confident on our Breeze map, but Zeal farmed us in mid till Carl got an operator, and they had pretty good reads as to where Carl should peek at the start of the round. They reacted to our pushes really well, and they countered us pretty easily, and they had really good trades and retakes. But also we had our mistakes that cost us the round, and that's something that we have to work on.
Other than Breeze, because Breeze is one of the larger maps, and then you guys played on Icebox, is for you, instead of the team, for you, are you more of a fan of the bigger maps, or are you more fun of the smaller, tighter maps like Split and Bind?
I think somewhere in between, like Ascent, is something that I'm comfortable with. Because maps like Split is something that isn't really our forte. It's our ban. Bind
go.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Bind is pretty okay. Breeze, we're trying to still master the map because it's pretty big, and the rotations of enemies, they can go from anywhere, even with the Senti in your composition. Yeah.
And then moving on to the semifinals. So you guys were able to win against Zeal Esports, but you guys played 3 games. You guys faced FC Empire on the semis. First map was Bind, and you are the dedicated Sova player, if I recall. But you picked KO instead. What was the idea behind this pick? Was this like a pocket strat saved up for for the semis, or was this something you guys haven't really run before?
Bind is a map known for post plants, and KO is an agent that's supposed to counter post plant utilities, since his knife can silence other agents. It's a new type of utility in Valorant that's ironically anti-utility. So we just wanted to test it out. It went well in scrims, but not so much on stage. So maybe we'll try to figure out KO more, so he'll fit better into our agent lineup.
As someone who usually plays the Sova, do you feel like someone, is Sova and KO something you can, like, agents you can swap together, or it should be you have a Sova pick and then you have a KO pick? You can't just like swap them.
I think playing KO gives me more freedom to like to peak instead of being a passive player. Because like as Sova, it's his like package is for really more for info other in comparison to KO, because like KO only has a knife for info, and his other utilities is nade and flash. In comparison to Sova, he has a drone, a recon, and an ult that can determine where the people are if you tag them. So yeah.
And then the team did seem to struggle against SV Empire. What was the team's morale like, after the first game? Because you guys had score lines that, can be tough on the team or to any team. And not just after the first game, on the second game as well. How was the comms? What was the atmosphere like?
The team didn't really take the first loss too hard because it's a best of 3 series. During the second game, though, we really tried our best in winning our Icebox map. But our first match against Zeal took a toll on us, and we were not in our best shape when we matched up against SV Empire. But to be fair, SV Empire is a really strong team and I respect them, but I think we could have given them a better fight if we were all in good shape.
And then it was weird for me. Since stage 1, I still feel weird having one quarterfinals separate on day 2, and then they have to prepare for the semis on the same day, unlike the other quarters where teams have 1 day of rest, 1 day of preparation time. What do you think of that you had to play 2 3, not straight, but on the same day you had to play 2 best of 3s?
In all honesty, I think having 2 best of 3 series in the same day would give a bit of disadvantage to us. Well, in our experience, as I said, the first match took a toll on us and we were not in our best shape when we fought SV. And it is something that we're currently working on. Like as pro players in NA, for example, they can play more than 1 best of 3s on the same day. And that is the standard that we need to reach. And I personally don't want to make us being tired an excuse to justify the mistakes that we made in game. Because we're pro players, we're pro athletes, and we have to learn to adapt to those kinds of situations.
That's big kudos. But what do you think is like the max amount of games? Like, I'm a tournament organizer, or you're gonna make a tournament of your own. How many best of 3s in a day should pros, a reasonable amount of series a pro team can play?
I think 2 max, 2 best of 3 series max. I don't know.
And then for the consolation game, you guys faced Alpha Esports. You guys won. But on the first map, this time it wasn't KO. You guys went for Yoru. If I recall, it was Marky that played on Yoru. Were you guys again experimenting, or pocket strat, to secure that third place?
Well, we never experiment during tournaments, and it's a lineup that we tried before. And since Alpha Esports picked the map bind, we thought that they studied our bind match against SV, which is why we decided to use that comp.
Yes. Does Marky enjoy playing Yoru?
Oh yeah, he really likes to play Yoru on bind.
And then you guys won third place. You guys are, it ended week 2 on a good note, being third place. You guys came from, I think, was that the second game? It was 9-3. You guys were losing, but then you came back and then won it. But third place isn't what teams are going to the playoffs for. They want to get that the championship, and possibly as well the seed for VCT Southeast Asia. Anything you would like to share to Oasis, your supporters, the supporters of Oasis Gaming, or even the rival teams for next week playoffs?
Okay, the result of our week 2 playoffs run wasn't the run that we were aiming for. So we're taking note of our mistakes and that we made in our week 2 run, so that we won't commit the same mistakes in week 3. I'd like to thank those who support us for continuously cheering us on since day 1. And things might have changed, but our goal is still clear, and we're heading straight for this coming playoffs.
Actually, I want to ask that. What's the I see that on Twitter sometimes with the different content creators also of Oasis Gaming. What's that? Oasis since day one?
Day one. Yeah, since day one.
What's like the meaning behind that? Or do you happen to know?
Actually, I don't know what it means. Like, maybe it's a loyalty or something. I don't really know.
I see. Anyways, thank you, Kurt, for joining us. And then once again, I am TheJoaquiGamer, and this was KGC Esports Into the Scene Overtime with courtesy of Oasis Gaming. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rocky, for having me. Thank you.